and bodies and sunlight. Everything is just energy. It's immeasurable. The scientists think they know about the Big Bang and the 11 dimensions of the universe, but they have no idea. What they know, that much. There's just energy. It has an intelligence, but there isn't an intelligence that runs it. Nothing runs this energy. There isn't a God. There isn't something out there directing this energy. There's just energy. And it's everything. It's completely mad. And boundless. It's just boundless. And it can be and do anything. It arises as everything that can be known and everything that can't be known. It's beyond measure. It's beyond comprehension. It can't be known. What we all long for is unknowing. What we all long for can never be known. You can never hold what you long for. You'll never grasp it. It will never be anybody's because it's everything already. And it can be anything. It can be in any form. It can pretend. It can make up. It can destroy. It can create. Apparently. And one of the things that arises in energy is an apparent separate energy. So energy seems to contract. It appears suddenly to contract and become restricted and limited. And that energy I would call separation, the energy of somehow being separate from the whole. Energy is just wholeness. You know, it's another word for wholeness. And separation is the sense of being separate from everything, from the whole. Being separate from oneness, if you like. And that energy of being separate and contracted is uncomfortable. And what arises out of that energy is me. Uniquely, separation is a human happening. It doesn't happen to anything else. There isn't anything else that feels separate. The walls don't feel separate from oneness. They are oneness walling. The dog, there's a dog here that doesn't feel. Everything else, grass, sky, everything, is just at one. Wholeness is simply being energy. But uniquely, the human grows, when it's very young, suddenly adopts or takes on a sense of identity. It thinks it is someone. Separation. It thinks it's a separate someone. As it grows up, what happens is that it begins to convince itself that it is definitely separate because there's lots of other me's around who seem to be separate. And it also convinces itself it has free will and choice. And it also feels that it's in a story. And in a way it is, because me is a story and the story is me. Directly separation happens, me and story come together. And they go on being together in that apparent life. So when me develops, it believes that me has been born and that me will live a certain amount of time and me will die. It's a journey, it's a story. And it's uniquely human. There isn't any other story. It's a uniquely human story. And in that story, there's a conviction that the me has free will and it can create a better story. So it learns from its parents and so on how to live its life in a more fulfilling way or how to make its story better. And it uses knowledge and understanding as it develops to do that. But the thing about it is that what it's doing all the time is living in separation. It's in a separate little story of its own. It's like a circle. It's a circular story. And the experience it has is of being separate. So everything that it sees and hears and feels is felt and heard and seen through a veil of separation. So the me never sees reality as it is. The me never sees a tree or the sky or another person as they really are. It sees them through the veil of separation. It's separate from them. It's apart from them. it's apart from everything, apparently. That's how it seems, and that's how it feels. So, underlying the experience of being a separate me is dissatisfaction. And it tries to comfort itself by gathering in what it can to feel comfortable about that sense of loss. So it gathers in money and power and lovers and whatever it can get to make itself feel good and to make its story better. It thinks it can do that. It believes it can do that. For most people, that's how they live their lives. That's how it seems to be. For some people, there's a sense that idea of gathering in things is too superficial. It won't be fulfilling. There's already a recognition that the activities of me won't bring that fulfillment, and that there must be some sort of deeper answer to why this feels separate, why it doesn't feel fulfilled. And so the me looks for a deeper answer, and it looks in religion or therapy, and it also maybe hears about something called enlightenment. But of course, where it's coming from is the absolute belief that it has to do all of these things itself. It has to find fulfillment. So it has to do that through choice and free will, and bring about action which will fulfill it. So it goes to learn how to become fulfilled. And it goes to a teacher. And the teacher basically will say, yes, you are a person that's unfulfilled, and I can show you how to become fulfilled. So it follows another path. This is another way of feeling good about itself. Money, power, and all those things aren't quite enough, so it may look for something else that will make it feel good about itself. So what is promised, or what is longed for, is personal enlightenment. But in a sense, that personal enlightenment will also happen in this story, in this circular story. The person will go on making an effort to find something called personal enlightenment in this story. Now, what we're sharing here together today is the possibility that all of that is totally and utterly futile. Because there is no such thing as personal enlightenment. There is no such thing as the prize of self-realization. All of those things are in the story. The sense of what the seeker is looking for is a treasure in the story, the treasure of enlightenment. So what we're basically saying here is that is never going to be possible, because the one thing in the way of liberation, of freedom, is the one that's trying to find it. And the whole effort of looking for enlightenment is the confirmation that it's been lost. So the seeker, in a sense, is running round in a circle looking for something that has never been lost, and so will never be found. And the whole effort of that is completely futile. And so what we're sharing together is another possibility. What we're sharing together is the illumination of the way in which the seeker seeks, and how futile that can be, and then the concepts and ideas that the seeker has about itself and where it can get to and what it can find can start collapsing. Because of course, the whole energy of me, the whole energy of being separate, is an inconstant state. It comes and it goes. Every day it's there and it isn't, it's there and it isn't. So it's an inconstant state that's supported by ideas, and the illumination that all of those ideas are somehow futile can bring about a collapse of that structure that holds up the sense of being a me. Of course, that's conceptual, so that's only a very superficial thing that goes on in these meetings. It's a way, in a way, what we talk about together, questions and answers, is an excuse for something else to happen. Because basically, separation is an energy. It's a contracted energy. All there is energy. And energy can arise as a contracted energy, apparently. And that contracted energy can simply dissolve back into the boundless, mad, crazy, immeasurable reality called being. So here, as far as this is concerned, the seeker can never find what it longs for, but essentially the whole seeking energy, the me, the individual, can die, can collapse. With that death, also, of course, the story of me collapses. So it's a complete loss. What we're talking about here is a complete loss of something which we hold precious. And that loss is the end of the individual that is seeking the wonder of being. And in the end, there's nothing left of the seeker. All that's left is the wonder of being for no one.